host, Lan Pickert, a lawyer that has been handling asbestos, medical malpractice, and automobile trucking accidents for the past 33 years. Today's show is sponsored by Terrell Hogan Law, a boutique litigation firm that has been successfully helping those in Florida and Georgia for over 50 years. Today we have a very special guest. Today we have Matt Sowell. Matt is considered one of the best medical malpractice and stroke attorneys in the entire southeast of the United States. Welcome, Matt.
Alan, thanks for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. So Matt, tell us a little bit about what you do, sir.
So we investigate bad outcomes for clients to see if the problem they're having was related to some medical malpractice, some negligence that occurred in their care. Many times just finding out what really happened is as important as being able to help them, recover something to help make up for the things that they've lost.
So even if it's not maybe a necessary lawsuit, because I know in a lot of states, including Florida, the laws are very protective of the medical profession, but it helps give closure to families that they think there may be medical malpractice has occurred?
Yeah, I mean, most people are not there when the malpractice occurs. And so they're always asking themselves, was there something I could have done? And there's a natural guilt, and it's misplaced, but there's a natural guilt when parents lose a child particularly because they feel like they did something wrong or should have done something different. So if you're able to go get the information that shows them, no, you did everything right, that's life-changing for them, even before we start talking about a lawsuit.
Now, I know in the last 5-6 years, I personally know of at least a dozen very successful medical malpractice cases that you've handled in stroke litigation. But before we talk about those, let's just talk about a stroke. Like, what should people at home, what should the viewers be thinking about watching about, what are the symptoms of a stroke? What should I do? What have you?
Okay. Let's start with how do they avoid a stroke?
Okay.
Okay, and because stroke is actually very preventable, but you have to change the risk factors in your life. You got to keep the blood pressure down. In my case, I got to lose some weight, all right? And so the first thing is go see your primary care doctor and say, do I have any risk factors for stroke? And help me make a plan to get rid of those, right? If you're concerned that you're having a stroke, I mean, you should be seeing, symptoms just on one side of the body. A lot of times it involves your face. You have a droopy part of your face.
Okay.
Your speech is off. Okay, you could, we've seen people where all they can say is like ba ba ba, and they'll have a full conversation and only use ba ba. Other people have slurred speech. Some people have weakness just on one side. Some people have trouble staying awake. Anything abnormal neurologically, you need to go to a stroke center hospital. All right, there are some hospitals in town, they can give you medicine to dissolve the clot, but the most effective way of treating it is actually go pull the clot out. And there's a few hospitals in town, and those are the ones you want to get to. So
correct me if I'm wrong, but one of the most important things, time is of the essence. Don't think, hey, let me just sleep overnight and we'll see how I'm feeling tomorrow when it comes to things like that. Is that correct? Yeah,
there's a saying, time loss is brain loss. And it's true because the tube, the artery, the blood vessel through which oxygenated blood flow is getting to the brain is clogged. So that part of the brain is not getting oxygen. If you're not getting enough oxygen globally, you're going to pass out and die. That's the same case with that tissue. So they've got to open up that vessel for a short period of time. Other arteries around that tissue will supply some blood, enough to keep it alive. It's not dead yet, but the key is to get that open right away.
Now, one of the things that people probably don't understand, because they think, well, lawyers are everywhere. I mean, everywhere you look, there are lawyers or lawyer commercials. But for your particular practice, which is medical malpractice and stroke litigation, there aren't that many. Isn't that correct?
There aren't that many to do it. There's a lot of people that advertise, and I don't mean be taking shots, but there's a lot of people that say they do it.
Okay.
There's not a whole lot that can take a case from the beginning all the way through the end. We have a group in town that meets medical malpractice lawyers that meet for lunch every quarter or so. You know, 8, 10 people are there. That's it.
And how long have you been handling medical malpractice cases?
I actually started working on one in 1988 when my boss brought it in.
Okay.
Yeah, and since then I've handled medical malpractice cases, and unfortunately every once in a while we'll handle a legal malpractice where a lawyer messed up a medical malpractice case.
So you have significant experience when it comes to medical malpractice and stroke litigation.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of them. It's a very rewarding area to practice because you can really make a difference in somebody's lives. We have also, the stroke thing is kind of unique. I started what I kept seeing was lawyers calling me saying, I've been working on this case, can you help me on it? And you look at it, it's not even a real case.
Yeah.
You know, so that we started a group nationally that would help lawyers to be able to identify meritorious cases, which is, you don't want a client going through the mess of a lawsuit if there's nothing there.
Yeah.
And so we were teaching them not only the medicine, but how to work them up and then try the cases. And we've been doing that for 12 years, but I've been handling, actually one of the first cases I handled was a legal malpractice case involving a stroke. And you have to prove the underlying medical malpractice first.
Okay.
So that was in 92, 93.
Wow, wow. So tell us how the viewers can find you.
So I'm with the Terrell Hogan firm,
Okay.
your law firm. Our phone number is 904-632-2424. We've got a lot of information on the website about stroke.
Okay.
And you know, hopefully they won't need a lawyer, but if they do, we'll be glad to help them out.
Well, thank you very much for joining us. And thank you, viewers, for joining us in another edition of Raising the Bar. This is Lan Pickert, wishing you a good day. Take care. Thank you.